everyone, it's Tracy McMillan, and today I am doing a webinar for you on the requirements that you need in order to get a divorce. Now, in order to prove that to the court the elements to get the court to agree to give you a divorce, you've got to prove a few things. Obviously, one is your separation for a year and a day, but you have to prove that the Australian courts have the jurisdiction to make your divorce. So that is, you have to have been an Australian citizen. You have to have been been a permanent resident or domiciled in Australia. So that basically means living in Australia a minimum of 12 months before you apply to the court. So if you've got a divorce or if you've got a marriage that occurred overseas and you registered it in Australia, then you can still go through and get a divorce in Australia for most countries. But you had to have either been an Australian citizen or living here for 12 months beforehand, okay? Now, you also need to have to demonstrate, so separated 1 year and a day, jurisdiction of the court, and you have to have proved to the court that there is no likelihood of you recohabitating or resuming your marriage. If you can't prove that, then the court will not grant you your divorce. Okay. Now, when you're going through to prove that you have separated for 1 year and 1 day, you have to prove that you have actually separated. So in order to do that, you've got to do three things. The first one has to be that you have an intention to actually separate. So the reason this is relevant is people like, for instance, FIFO workers, where they fly in, fly out. You are separated by distance, but there's no intention for you to end your relationship, okay? So you actually do have an intention. Now, the really important part of this is that intention to separate does not have to be by both of you. It only has to be by one. So if one person says, sorry, honey, it's over, I don't want to do this anymore, and the other one says, nope, I'm not hearing that, we are still married and that's the way it's going to be, no, it doesn't matter. As long as one of you is adamant that's your intention, then you're good to go. That's considered to proving the intention. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to have communicated that intention to the other party. So you would think, like in a practical reality world, that packing your bags and walking out of the house is enough to have communicated that intention of separation. It's not necessarily, because there are a lot of people who pack their bags, walk away because they've had a fight or they need a weekend or some time to themselves. That doesn't prove that there is an intention to permanently end that relationship. So what you don't want is to go to court and say, no, I packed my bags and I walked out that day. And then the court says, no, that intention became clear, or that communication of that intention became clear after a period of time had lapsed. Like, for instance, you didn't come back for a month or you didn't come back for 6 months. And then that throws out when you can actually apply for a divorce.